from Abuja.
Hello, thank you for being a part of our show. We appreciate you. I'm Magnus Kpakol, and this is Magnus Kpakol GVA. As always, it's all about how we can raise the level of living. That's what it's all about. In view today, a continuation of our discussion on politics and the minimum wage issue. So the Tripartite Committee on the Review of the National Minimum Wage has submitted its 30,000 Naira minimum wage per month report to the President. Once again, at only $80 per month, is this good enough for the lowest paid worker in this new era of globalization? Second, are state governments now able to pay this amount on a sustainable basis? Finally, do we all know what principles govern a minimum wage determination in Nigeria? And so we continue our discussion with Professor Uche Uwaleke of Nasarawa State University. But before this, in our hidden economics, I will love you to death. What does that really mean? Now, up next in our quick view, we compare the best countries to work in. That's coming right up. Quite often, people want to know which are the best countries to work in. People want to know where they will have the best opportunities. The following are some issues people also consider when looking for the best country to go find a job. And they are income, in this case the minimum wage, vacation, public holidays, parental leave, health care, average hours worked per week, unemployment rate, and the top industries for jobs. In this connection, which of the following countries is the best place to work? Iceland, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and the United States of America. Now, Africa is rising and offering wonderful locations for even expatriates to live and work. In this connection, which of the following countries is the best in Africa for expatriates to live and work? Egypt, Kenya, South Africa, and Tanzania. Still in view, a continuation of our minimum wage discussion with Professor Uwaleke. Stay with us.
See, shaku shaku for daddy, eh? Quara quara for baby, eh? Mona Lisa, she be dancer, oh yeah dance, oh bioko. They say love is blind, my eye they shine. Baby I don't know why, cause I see my future in your eyes, baby. The way my body do me for night, girl I go need you die. Oh yeah, come and touch my body, dima be. Oh no you would hear me, oh ha, you my baby dear BSC. Oh ha, oh no you would dear BSC. Oh ha, you my baby dear BSC. Oh ha, oh no you would dear BSC. Oh ha, you my baby dear BSC.
The song Oha by the great Innocent Udeme Udofat, better known as MC Galaxy, a Nigerian singer and songwriter who rose to fame and sensation after winning the Davido dance competition in 2012. In the song Oha, he uses the Chui expression Odoewu. Chui is a Ghanaian language of the Akan tribe. Now, Odoewu literally means love you to death. Although Ghanaians, when they say Odoewu, they just simply mean my love. So why do people say, I love you to death? I think that some ladies literally think that it means that the man would die for her. Are you sure he would actually die for you if the moment should come? Well, I'm not going to say here on this show what percent of men will actually run away when clear and present danger comes. Now, in most cases, a man says he loves you to death. When he says that, he actually means he loves you until one of you dies. Now, which one of you? I guess it doesn't really matter in reality. So what is the economics in saying I love you to death? I guess if I demand your love by telling you I love you to death, to you it means I would do anything for you to have your love. That means that I will pay anything for even the smallest amount of your love. This action on the part of the suitor or demander of your love can trigger more positive producer expectations and cause the producer, in this case you the lady, to improve your love technologies and reduce your psychic costs so as to be able to have an increase in the supply of your love to me. This increase in the supply of your love will give me more love and even a lower price, given perhaps my downward sloping demand curve for your love. So in very layman's terms, by saying I love you to death, you would also want to reciprocate by upping the volume of your love to me. In the end, the amount of payment I actually make at our new love equilibrium is actually going to be lower than I started off with. And on top of that, I get more of your love. But guys, bear in mind, your baby no be JJC. Or do will DABSC. Our hidden economics for you.
Girl, your body is fire. My baby wanna DABSC. Oh ha, my baby no be JJC. Oh wow, Mona Lisa, she be dancer. You get the money. Mona Lisa, she be dancer. When she whine, some people crazy, cause she be my order. Me ba mami, me don't fupa. Me ba mami, order. Me ba mami, me don't fupa. Me ba mami, order you would DABSC. Oh ha, my baby DABSC. Oh ha, order you would DABSC.
Before we start our discussion, here are our quick view answers. Although the United States has the largest economy in the world and therefore offers the biggest opportunity for jobs, the tiny country of Luxembourg is the top country in the world when it comes to where to work, especially considering the minimum wage, public holidays, vacation time, healthcare, and related issues. Among African countries, Egypt is rated the best for expatriates looking for a home away from home. The ancient city of Cairo helps Egypt when looking at comfortable 21st century amenities like electricity, other infrastructure, and quality of life. Even so, when the Eco-Atlantic city is finished, Lagos and therefore Nigeria will be hard to beat in Africa. For comments, adverts, and sponsorship, please see our information displayed on the screen. So, the government and Labour have ostensibly agreed to a 30,000 Naira minimum wage, and the Tripartite Committee on the review of the national minimum wage has submitted its report to the President. Thankfully, we are now looking at an amount larger than the pitiful $50 a month the lowest paid workers are currently receiving. Could it have been even more pitiful if it wasn't negotiated in an election year? And so we continue our discussion on the matter with Professor Uche Uwaleke, Uche Uwalike is Professor of Finance and Capital Markets at Nasarawa State University. Please join us in our continued discussion with Professor Uche Uwalike. Where is the transmission between the minimum wage?
Yes,
and
the first is, let me even conclude this.
Okay.
That companies, you have increase in turnover.
Yes.
Increase in turnover translates to other things being equal. In other words, if your costs are the same, translates to increase in
You have increase in turnover because
of increase in sales.
Okay.
Your sales is your turnover.
Okay.
So people are demanding more for your good because they
No, I'm saying that you got increase in turnover
because disposable income is higher.
It's how people are buying more.
That's what okay.
Good.
So you sell more,
yes.
your profit is higher.
Good.
And of course, if your profit is higher, it shows up in your share price.
Sure.
Okay. Now, the transmission. How does it bring the common man to the capital market? Is that not so?
Yes.
We also know from theory that if you increase income, that yes, consumption will increase, but not by as much as the increase in income. Mm-hmm. So we say consumption function says consumption is a function of income.
Yes.
And we know that average propensity to consume, drops as income increases. So if we increase minimum wage from 18,000 to 30,000, that's low-paid worker that is used to 18,000, you suddenly increase it to 30,000. He or she will increase consumption, say by 2025, but it may not really exhaust the 30 because you're already used to the 18,000. So what it means is that part of that increase will be consumed, some part of it will be saved. You know that in many of our offices today, whether private sector or public sector, workers are in some form of cooperative societies. They save. You see people contributing 5,000 every month, 3,000 every month. Yeah. If you now increase somebody's salary from 18 to 30, if he was contributing 2,000, he could increase it to 3,000. Okay, so the saving is increased, and these societies use the money for investment. So what I'm saying is, again, many of these people must have also borrowed. When you're in a cooperative society, you are likely to borrow, from the society.
What do you think is the central bank's view on raising the minimum wage? And can they have a strong view in a political season like this?
Yes, the central bank, understandably, would not want anything that would complicate monetary policy.
Okay.
Yes, for them, they wouldn't want anything that will bring about inflationary pressure, and then they will also begin to battle with looking for tools to tackle the inflationary pressure. So the central bank.
So does this bring about? Is there any inflationary pressure from raising the minimum wage?
Yes.
As far as the central bank is concerned.
No, as I said earlier on, it is not going to bring about.
No, if you're at the central bank and you're concerned, your main concern is inflation. Yes,
that's my primary responsibility. Yeah. I want to maintain price stability.
Yeah, so if you are going to
minimum wage, if you are going to do a minimum wage, it shouldn't be such that will bring about inflation.
Although I think that it might be just a one-time thing. So you might see a little.
No, that would be the immediate reaction.
Yes, but then it should
over time it should normalize.
Be a problem.
Yes,
so maybe the central bank will see it that way too.
The immediate response might be a slight spike in inflation rate, but it's not going to last because, as I said, those are not the real things that drive inflation. For us to have a low inflation rate environment in this country, we need to fix the bottlenecks. We need to fix roads. We need to put power. So when we fix these things, because part of why we even have high cost of interest rates are high.
Yes.
The interest cost in this country is also high, not necessarily because CBN's benchmark policy rate is high, but again because of these factors. Before a bank gives you a loan, the bank is considering the fact that it's going to pay for maybe buy fuel, run generator, and so on. The roads are bad. So these costs are costs that add up to the cost of capital in this country. So as I was saying earlier on, it is something that will impact positively on our markets.
Yeah.
Look at pension funds. If you increase minimum wage, okay, what that means is that the contribution
by both the employer and employee will increase.
Right,
Is that not so?
Yeah.
Today we are talking about 8.3 trillion naira pension assets. Okay, and government is saying, why can't we use this part of this to fund infrastructure?
So the APC has this next level thing.
Yeah.
What is that? What is the next level? What's that?
Yes.
What level are we at now?
next level, my understanding is, of course, it's a higher level.
Yeah. Okay.
Next level.
Higher level of what? Of what?
Of the current position. Wherever we are now, want to improve on it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Okay. Let's keep that. So, what do you see that? How is that? How would the people? What would they show? Because you got to show. What do you see that they will show to the people? So that people know that, okay, oh yeah, is it electricity?
Okay, well, the next level is
roads.
Yes, maybe it's going to take off from the basis, the foundation that it is trying to lay, foundation that you can see in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan.
Yes.
Okay, and if you look at that document, it talks about some of the achievements they've recorded so far, particularly in the area of social safety nets, the home feeding program, the school feeding program, the Empower, where a number of people have been engaged, and a couple of infrastructure, particularly roads that are ongoing. They hope to complete, including the second Niger bridge. They said they plan to complete. So that's if those things get done, that should be the next level.
That's the next level.
Yes, but on the other side,
I want to ask you. Yes. But for me, if I'm looking at that next level,
yes.
If I'm in Sokoto,
yes,
I don't have any business with the second Niger bridge. I mean, so that next level doesn't affect me.
Yes,
if you build a road between Abeokuta and Lagos, and I'm in Port Harcourt,
yes.
I don't see anything with that next level. So what I will look at, I'm going to look at GDP growth rate.
Yes.
So if I don't see a robust, a strong GDP growth rate, climbing over 5%, I don't see a next level.
Yes.
But should somebody see a next level? One, we look at the main aggregate we look at.
Yes.
GDP growth, per capita growth, and we don't see significant increase. Is there a next level?
Yeah, the next level talked about also growing GDP, although it wasn't specific. But of course, we find in the ERGP.
They want to make Nigeria work again.
Yes.
Is Nigeria broken now?
Well, that's the question.
Yes.
But on the article document, PDP was more specific, talking about 900 billion, delivering 900 billion GDP size by 2025. Again, that's my worry. Why 2025? When the first time will be ending 2023. He also talked about doing 20,000 megawatts of electricity.
Is that achievable?
No, by 2025 it is.
A lot to do with even the exchange rate. If we're looking at these computations at market exchange rate, I mean, in dollar terms.
Yes.
So if something happens with
dollar
exchange
GDP,
rate,
he was talking about dollar GDP size.
So the point is, if you're going to, which he also said, if he's going to free the exchange rate, suppose it shoots to 400.
Yes.
Can you still achieve that $900?
That's also something I also see in that document. Some of the things said there don't connect. You just mentioned one example. The other example is that you say you want to have financial system stability. You want to pursue low inflation rates, low interest rates, stable exchange rates, all at the same time, on one hand. On the other hand, you say you want to liberalize the downstream sector of the petroleum industry. You also say you want to get the distribution companies to recover their full cost, electricity company recover their full cost. Now, if we have increase in electricity tariffs, and we have increase in pump price of fuel, it will be difficult to maintain low inflation rates, low interest rates, and stable exchange rate all at the same time.
Maybe that's why it's going all the way to 2025.
The monetary policy trilemma.
Maybe that's why it's going all the way to 2025, because he knows in the first 3-4 years it might be tough. From your observation, looking at financial issues in the capital market and whatever, is there truly a crowding out? People are not able to get the resources because the government is there?
Yes, I agree with you, because that's part of what is driving up interest rates. The dominance of the government in the debt market.
Yeah, because I'm going to follow. If there is, what shape? How is it happening?
It is happening because companies.
Not why is it happening. How is it happening? Because I have my own idea.
Yes.
My idea. Let me just say, my idea is that because the government is there, the banks don't look at the regular guy because they think that the government is a surer person that can pay back.
Yeah, exactly.
But these guys cannot. So if the government wasn't there, they would be forced to look at the regular guy.
Yes, you have said it all. Yes, that is how it is happening.
Yeah.
Yes, the government is there. If the government is borrowing, and don't forget, the government has this full faith. Has this full.
They will somehow bring the money.
Yes, any government, if government is borrowing from you, if government is issuing securities, those securities are said to be risk-free.
Yeah.
Okay, so. People therefore believe more in those securities. So if government is borrowing at 14%, for example, government is taking loan at 14%. Okay, it will be difficult if you are lending money to the government at 14%. It will be difficult for you now to do any other investment below 14%.
Absolutely. Professor, you are wonderful. We'll call you back and we'll talk about those.
My pleasure.
Great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
As we said last time, minimum wage increases generally appear to be appealing to politicians during an election year. However, could it be that once the elections are over, politicians can begin to see things differently and sit on the lower paid workers? So how can Nigerian lower level workers free themselves from a minimum wage trap? I guess one way would be to look at opportunities in what is now being called the gig economy. Since the recent global financial crisis, there has been a significant increase in the amount of contract, temporary, and freelance work. The space for these kinds of work is principally what is being described as the gig economy. In actuality, the word gig literally means a job, usually for a specified period of time. It was typically for an entertainer's engagement. As it now looks, in the coming years, the nature of employment worldwide will change. That means it will change also in Nigeria. Understanding the nature and extent of these changes and why they are happening will become a key skill for the government and also for private sector recruiters. Generally, people think that it is only lower level jobs that are considered in the gig economy. This is certainly not so. I know that the popular image of the gig economy worker might be the Uber or Taxify driver. However, the gig economy is expanding to bigger and even more technical jobs, creating more space and opportunities for the worker and the family. Now, what industries will be the most affected? Clearly, all industries are evolving and changing, but the ones most likely to offer project-based work are computer programming and other technical and creative industries. Folks, it will be good to take note. I'm Magnus Kpakol, and that's my view.
I believe.